Good evening, sir. Can I start right now? Okay. Good evening to all of you. Myself, Dr. Shubhanshu Datta, and for the day two, I will take a session on the particular topic. Just a minute. Give me 1 minute. Just yes, I hope all of you can see this one. Just a minute. So we will start with the issue on project writing for grants. Okay, and thanks to RFI once again, and thanks to Ajay Jain sir and Sanjay Jain sir for giving me this platform and to interact with all of you. Uh, Before we start, why we are going for this grant, I think yesterday you have discussed about how to write the particular paper and article for that. Now today we will discuss about this particularly all the technicalities related to when you applying for a project. Okay. So in this context, I will first show you something very interesting. The first part is that where from we can apply for funding. That is very important. This part is very important because this is a very crucial parameter for us that where we can apply. Now, in this context, the most important thing is that generally we can apply through the ICSSL. Now, ICSSL is a huge funding body that encourage the social scientists for applying for different projects. Okay, like we always keep track on the ICSSL for the purpose of applying for a project. If you are have some free time and you have an intention to come up with a particular project, so please keep a watch on this ICSSL project. So ICSSL is a funding organization and encourage each and every um, aspirant to apply in a social scientist to apply for a project. I'm not saying that I'm not talking too much about the DST and DBT funding. That is also there. Okay. And other than this ICSSR, we also have a special branch called Impress. Okay. Now, Impress is something which is very much one of the very newly introduced in the field of ICSSR, but it's called Impactful Policy Research in Social Science. Okay, that is why it is called Impress. Okay. Now, they try to identify some of the emerging area, and then they're asking for a short-term empirical project from the citizens of India, particularly in the social scientist domain. And then only you can apply according to the criteria. If you fulfill the criteria, if you take, sometimes they are asking for a collaboration before you applying for that particular project. So you need a collaborative platform and you need some people to collaborate, maybe from a same state or maybe from a other state, and then you can apply. So that is the basic part. Now, I will try to show you something. See, this part is very interesting. Like you can see this particular screenshot of this ICSSL. If I go directly in the ICSSL domain, then what happens? I'm trying to share with something else with you within another particular site. Let's see. I'm going back to this particular slide and let's see. I can open another site. Uh, just a minute. Give me 1 minute. I'm opening another separate window for that so that you can see. Let's see. Now you can see it or not. I have to. I think all of you can see this one right now. Can you see this particular screen? That I am sharing with all of you, ICSSR. Hello, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Now you can see this one. If you go to the ICSSR under the research project, what happened there? Now you can see some of the points. Some of the point may be there are different two categories of research projects. Okay. Generally, one particular category is called a minor project and major project, and we are used to apply for that. Okay. And there is some different research programs. Now, once you go and click on that particular site, see research program, and what I shown you something like Impress, which is for put under the head of called special call for research term. Now, if you click on this research program, automatically you can find out different types of program that is offering by the ICSS from time to time. If not, then automatically we can go to the special call. Now, under special call, you can see different types of calls are there. It may be related to solar energy and sustainability issue. There's a very, this one is very interesting. They call because the deadline is over. Okay, there is a call for the women-led research, particularly for female social scientists. So the women-led development in the area of specific issue. So they are also now. This is a very interesting. They also call for this. Their date is also come to an end, particularly in the area of Viksit Bharat 2047. Okay, particularly for longitudinal study. That means there are different types of study are undertaken by any one of you, and then automatically you can go for it. That's a very important part which we can undertake from time to time. Now, the most interesting part is that in that context, yeah, let's see. Yes. Okay. Now, when we are applying for this particular issue, now you can see this one. Like there is one important issue is there. Like I think also can make a note of it. This is very interesting for all of us. That is called Anushandhan National Research Foundation. Now, what is Olushonda National Research Foundation? Generally, it is applying for any organization or institution who are intended to apply for funding. Okay, the last date is over right now on 16th October 2024. Okay, now after that, definitely they will apply for another. If you keep a vigilance on this particular site, automatically you are aware of that when you are trying to organize particularly a special event in the area of basic science, engineering, technology, and agriculture. They ask for organizing the symposia seminar and they will provide all the fundings. Okay, like if you are going to organize any special seminar in the social science domain, definitely there's a format or you can apply through this format, but online immediately. And after that, you have to submit this offline. So then automatically you will get the support from the ICSR within the given time frame. But that you must have to minimum keep a time frame of 2 months distance from the date of application and the date of arranging your seminar minimum. So that is a very important. This is very important that you can. I told you earlier, like very recently, we have completed one short-term empirical research of 2024. Okay, so here this is a one special kind of a short-term empirical. Generally, it is invited by the ICCSR for a 6-month duration. Okay, and the amount they are providing depends on the project that you are put forth in the table of ICCSR. Okay, particularly on a short-term empirical research. If the project it may be covering the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, NEP implementation, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, or Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, or any such related area where that they have mentioned from time to time. So based on the topic that you have selected, the funding allocation must be done in that. I'm coming to that funding, the amount of fund, everything I'm providing in detail, in a much more detailed manner. So you have to keep check on this announcement. Okay, particularly if you are thinking that no, I cannot undertake a longitudinal study. I can go for a collaborative study, but a 6-month study. Then you can apply for an empirical. But if you think no, I can carry forward a long-term research, but in the social science, then you can apply for the longitudinal research. If you are a fresher, if you are a new faculty member, young researcher, and you don't have this confidence that I can undertake a big research, okay, I can go for a collaborative research. At that time, preferably you can go by a minor research project. So it depends on you and your probable collaboration. You can opt for the funding from the ICSSI. you can prepare your project theme and the title accordingly. So that is a very important thing in this context. Okay. Now, there are different types. I already mentioned you that I see the longitudinal studies in human cycle. Okay. And this is a David High Holker special call for women research. It is not that they only offer once. Okay. They can repeat the same thing once again, because you know that when we have applied for an empirical research and we got a funding of more than 14 lakhs funding from the ICSSR, we have successfully completed and submitted the project to the ICSSR. And you know the most important and interesting thing that out of the several projects submitted in the ICSSR in that domain, okay, some of the ICSSR best projects are being selected for possible publication, and our project is one of them. So that is a very interesting thing, that how you will make a project and you will get the fundings, and thereby the project should be accepted by the ICCL for possible publication. They will take all the necessary steps to for the publication of. We have submitted our entire project in the form of a book, so that they ensure us that yes, we will come up with a book very soon about the project that you have undertaken, because that it becomes a one kind of asset, or you can say that one of the outcome of our topic is the maybe they found it very significant, and that is why they are intended to come up with a book possible publication. So these things are there. So that is a very good. You can say that from your end, it is a very enriching credibility from the viewpoint of the professors and their collaborators. That is very important thing. Now, if you suppose you are thinking, what is my suggestion is that you know that every time some kind of projects or the theme are coming, but you know if you can always make a pre-plan, automatically there's a huge chance that you can immediately can uh, refresh your write-up according to the project guideline and then submit it immediately, so that the time that they have given to come up with a call for proposal submission, that becomes reduced. Particularly, you know, there are some repetition we have found out, and it is also been reflected in this particular site. Like education is one such sector. Okay, like skilling, maybe upskilling. Okay, okay, that skilling is also a very important factor, possible area. Study related to IKS is now an added on in the area of emerging issues, particularly in the domain of social science, Indian knowledge system. Okay, and social and regional studies like tribal studies or something like that. So these are, if you can make a plan accordingly, better we can get a very good proposal acceptance from the ICSS. So these things you should taken care of. Okay, because that will give you an enriching value for you, and it will take your less time from your drawing. Okay. Now, what is the upcoming application that is now going on, and you can apply for it? That is a very important thing. Okay. So this is a very important thing that you can apply. Now, this is a recent one. You can apply immediately. The last date of submission for this proposal is on 3rd of September, which is a collaborative project in social and human science. Okay, and that is a collaboration with the Japanese Society for Promotion of Science and ICSSR. So you can go and check the detailing. I am not making any comment on that. So you can go and check the different types of topic areas to be covered. Okay, so it is, since it is a social and human science. So the term social science is there. Definitely, there is a high chance that maybe you can find out some similar area in the area of your research work. So, so that you can prepare yourself accordingly. And since it is a collaborative project with India and Japan, so automatically, if you got a chance and if a proposal got selected, you have a high credibility in this context. So, and that is it, truly it becomes an international of your project that you are going to undertake. So this is a very important thing from my end. So you can, now this is one important thing. Now, how I can apply? There's a very important question from your end, how you can apply. Okay, now there's few things you have to keep in mind. Like if you are applying for a minor project, you can apply individually. If you are a major project, sometimes you can apply individually for a major project. But if you are a little bit senior, and if you are able to carry forward the research, yeah, upcoming years, then automatically you can go for a major project. Okay, because with major project, what happens? Your some document formalities, maintenance of records are much more a little bit complex as compared to the minor projects. Okay, but if you think, no, I will go beyond that. I have a connections with my fellow colleagues and with some other state as well. Then you can go for a good collaboration. Okay, and then automatically you can take a particular scheme that covers the not only specific on a particular area, you can cover it state-wise or the area-wise or region-wise identification of a possible thing. Say, for example, I can explain my from my end from our research the project proposal that we have done under short-term empirical research project from ICSSR, and for which we got a 14 lakh funding from ICSSR. Majority of the funding we got already received. Only few amount is left from ICSSR, and they are very much punctual and transparent in this context. So there is no doubt about it. The most important thing that we have undertaken the NEP implementation in the four states, particularly in Assam, West Bengal, Tripura, and Jharkhand. So that is our topic, and we have meticulously done this topic in that way. So we have done a collaboration. Few faculty members from Bengal, few faculty members we have taken from Assam, and then from Jharkhand and from Tripura. In that way, such collaboration is being formed, and then we apply for a project. So that is very interesting with whom you are collaborating and whether you have a proper transparency and the people with whom you are accountable or not. That is very important because once you want to take a project, you need to participate in various meetings uh, uh, given by on various time frame given by ICSR. Everyone has to participate and they have to attend the particular meeting organized by the ICSR. In spite, other than the meeting that you are going to conduct among yourself. That is very important. If they are not participating, it will create a disturbance and possible problem for continuous or full-fledged operation and implementation of the project. That is very important. Okay. Now, what happened for any ICSSR project? The main rule is that first you have to apply for online. Okay. And then automatically after online, within the 10 days, you have to submit a hard copies. Okay. So that is a very important simplified rule. Any social science researcher can apply for this project. But you just go and check for according to the special call for project, like short-term empirical, special call, or particularly on a women-centric project, you please check the guideline first and then apply. If you do not have an account in ICSSR, please create an account and then automatically you can log in into the interface and then submit all the necessary documents required to be fulfilled according to the form, online form is concerned. Once you fill the form, that form and along with all other relevant documents, you need to submit within 10 days to the ICSSR office New Delhi immediately. If you fail to submit, automatically there is a chance that your process of submission is being rejected. Okay. Now, yes, sometimes people are asking me the question in a different session that can we go for individual study? The answer is definitely yes, you can go for an individual study. If it is a minor project, if it is a major project, or if it is a short-term empirical, it varies from 6 months to 1 year. Okay, it's not a longitudinal study. 6 months to 1 year, it is okay. But provided in that case, the number of sample size must be within the range of 400 to 500. Okay, your sample size must be within the range of 400 to 500. So you please check that thing that whether you are able to capable enough that to collect that sample size based on your own individual initiative or not. That is very important. Sometimes we often go for a Google form. Okay. Nowadays, people and experts are not favoring this Google form because they prefer that if you collect it on a hard copy form, that is much better because at that time you can directly interacting with the respondent. Because sometimes collecting the data from the Google form, creating some kind of anomalies. Okay, while we are collecting because of the the people we are sending the mail and whether the particular people are belonging to the area in which I am doing the research. Sometimes, I have seen in some cases there is some problem, there is some anomalies are there. So probably based on that time, the team you will get a maximum ceiling of 6 lakhs funding from the ICSSR or any other competent authorizing body for the purpose of undertaking any research. Okay. Now, uh, you can go for a collaborative study. Now, in case of collaborative study, as I already mentioned to all of you, that like in our project, we have a team member of three from three different states and 3 members from Bengal. So totally 6 members we have cooperated. In our project, for a short-term empirical, even though it is a 6-month study, but it is we have done with the help of a comprehensive study covering 4 states, and that is why we have taken 6 active researchers, 3 from our Bengal and 3 from other 1 person from each professor from each state. Okay, other than the research fellow or the project assistance we have taken for the particular project. The main important thing is that in case of a collaborative project, the person whom you will decide to act as a project coordinator, the main person, okay, and that means that person is a key person who will communicate all the matter on behalf of your project team with the ICSSR. That is the project coordinator and his institution should be mainly in the focus point. Okay, and rest of the members are considered to be a project director. Okay, now the point arises here. Now, in that case, you can lend your name and you will get a credit. Definitely, you will get a credit as a project director, but the project coordinator has a responsibility in organizing the meeting as well as giving their link, particularly when the fund is being transferred from ICSSR to the institution, in which institution the fund will transfer. Automatically, it is the project coordinator institution where the ICSI will transfer the fund through the PFMS account. Okay. Generally, for a collaborative study, generally the size of the sample size must be 2,000 to 3,000, and you will get a grant up to 30 lakhs. Okay, depends. It depends on, it may go beyond, depend on some special call for project, but up to 30 lakhs you will get the fund. That is a very important thing in this context. Okay. Now, there is one interesting part. Okay, not only that you are going for collaborative with your fellow faculty members, you need to appoint some staff. Okay, so you need to appoint some staff, and at that time, what happened? Now, such staff can be of 3 type of. Okay, now where you will allocate your expenditure, because when you are applying for a project, you have to prepare your budget. That budget you have to submit. So for that, it is a very this particular table that I'm showing you will help you in preparing your budget. Generally, what they want, that you have to appoint some stuff. Okay, like based on the estimate, suppose you are preparing a budget based on a 6 lakh. So for up to 40% of the total budget you have to spend for the purpose of appointing some part-time staff or research fellow for the purpose of undertaking the project for maximum for a period of 3 months. Such staff can be appointed. So that means if it is considered to be 6 lakh, 40% representing 2,40,000. The maximum amount of 2,40,000 that you can spend for the budget for appointment of part-time, full-time, or the higher service staff. Field travel, field work. For that, you have to travel. We have to travel a lot for different places of Bengal and different places of Tripura, Assam, and Jharkhand, different colleges, to interacting with the principals of those colleges and take the snapshot of the picture, interacting with the administrative, non-administrative staff, students, teachers, and everything. So that also needs some cost. Sometimes the project coordinator and the project directors are unable to move in that particular place, or sometimes one only member is going along with this such fellow. At that time, the amount you have to bear. So you have to keep certain amount of money for that. And also, not only that, in case of empirical project, what we have done as per the ICSSR guideline, they have specified for that project we have completed, they specified mentioned you have to organize 2 at least workshop. One workshop at the very beginning to invite some respected persons having sound knowledge in the field of research, that whether your research uh, uh, draft, your research questionnaire are comprehensive or not, that they will check, they will validate, and then automatically you can go for the survey. Okay, and after that, once the survey is being done, once the report is being obtained, then we have to again call for another workshop, a most comprehensive workshop, where we have to invite some of the deans, vice chancellor, head, principal of the college, along with some of the students of the college, so that they can come and see the work that we have undertaken and what is the ultimate result of our work. And so that we have to take the pictures, we have to keep the recording of the facts, and then we have to submit that report as well to the ICSSR in support of the workshop that we have organized. So this is also a very important thing. So you have to organize in a particular place, you have to hire that particular place for a certain period of time. You have to invite those resource persons, you have to invite the vice chancellor and those people, you have to make the necessary arrangements for tea, snacks, and food, lunch, everything. So all those you have to organize. So that for that you also need some fund. Now you have to purchase some kind of equipment for the purpose of your study. It may be as materials, books, journals, software, dataset. Now, one of the most interesting thing is that you purchase some of the materials, books or computer or tab or something like that, but that is generally immediately available with the um, respective project directors and project coordinators. But at the end, these things must be kept by the project coordinator. Okay. Uh, all the materials, printers, material document, books, and journals should be kept by the host institution. That is where the project coordinator is belonging. So they will keep all those things. And if it was demanded by the ICSSR at any point of time, they are responsible to return the entire thing to the ICSSR. Generally, ICSSR not demand those things because they thought that this is an asset of that institution. Why not they can keep it for the purpose of the rest of the benefit of their students? So they are very humble and they are very in this context they are giving some good opinion for that. But in case, but you also keep always a record that what are the things you are keeping in the host institution where the project coordinator is belonging, so that at any point of time, if there's any request coming from ICSL, that please return all the documents and the materials that you have purchased for the purpose of from this funding, please return back, like books, journals, printer, computer, anything. So you have to keep 5% of the total amount grant for the purpose of contingency. You don't know what is going to happen. And lastly, uh, generally it has been suggested that 7.5% of the affiliating institution overhead. Affiliating institution means the institution where the project coordinator is belonging. That because they are the responsible to communicate with the ICSSF for all possible manner. So that amount you have to keep for the institutional overhead purpose. That is very, I hope it is clear to all of you. Now, once it was done, so you have prepared your budget based on the workout that I have given. Now you have to appoint. So that is also being part of your budget statement. Okay, what is that? That is called a remuneration and emolument for the project staff. So according to the comprehensiveness of your project, you have to appoint three type of project staff. One is called research associate, one is research assistant, one is called field investigator. Suppose for the purpose of your project, you feel that you need more field investigator and one research assistant, you don't want any research assistant. Not so you can skip that one, but you can appoint one research assistant and field investigator. The field investigator is responsible for collecting the data from the going to the field, and research assistant can do all the paper documentation on behalf of the project coordinator as well as the project director. Okay, and if he or she is a technically skilled, like any software knowledge, then he or she can also do the analysis part for the purpose of the project. So that is a very simple way, and for that the amount is being specified by the ITSSR. They said 40,000 for per month for research associate, research assistant 32,000, and field investigator that amount you have to definitely pay, and that document need to submit to the ICSL without fail. If suppose you have paid 10,000 and you are asking them that you please sign 20, 30,000. That is not possible because that you have to transfer online to in their bank account, and that need to be checked, and the document need to be submitted to the ICSSR as well. So, and the appointment of this research associate, assistant, and investigator, that can be done through our competitive mode. Now, what is competitive mode here refers to the point that you have to give an advertisement. One, advertisement generally available in the host institution website. Second is being available must be in a daily newspaper without fail. Okay, at least two daily newspaper, one in English and one in other language you can give, and one is available in the institutional website. So by virtue that means you have followed a transparent, competitive policy. So you maybe have some biases, you can take your own student. Okay, but you can encourage them to apply if they qualify, they definitely you can take those people. So it is just a transparent mechanism suggested by ICSI in this context, so that you can take. And their formal qualifications are being mentioned. Generally, postgraduate with a minimum 55% marks, they can apply. If they have some technical knowledge, preferably you will give a little bit preference for those people. Okay, other than that, particularly when you are going to appoint research assistant and research associate, other than field investigator. Okay, now that is very important thing is that, okay, now suppose we have started our project and then automatically our field investigators start collecting the data set, and we got the data set that is available in a common drive. So there is a high chance that one or maybe some of them of the project director or okay, we can take the data set from them and they can go for their own individual publication. Okay, so that is not being allowed. Okay, so no publication and no presentation, particularly in a special call for project, are not being allowed by the ICSSR without their prior permission. If you have done this, automatically immediately your project stand cancelled. So if you are not able to utilize the data set obtained for the purpose of undertaking this particular project for any other personal purpose or personal academic fulfillment purpose. Okay. Now this is very important for all of you. When you are preparing your draft call for paper, call for proposal, how you structured yourself. Okay. How you structure that in your entire project. Okay. General rule that they have given, I have summarized it in my own way and based on my own experience so far. So what they're demanding from you are title and then abstract within 300 words. Okay, they need an introduction of the proposed study that you're going to undertake, but introduction must be of 400 words. Okay, during abstract, please don't give any kind of citation here. Okay, that is not be that is discouraged. Okay, fourth is the major research work review. Which papers you have reviewed? That is very important. They actually check very thoroughly the papers that you have reviewed for the purpose of coming to this particular point. International and national, there are two types. You have to make a categorization. Okay, at least not less than 15 to 20 important work you have to cite. Third one, you have to identify the research gaps. I will come to the point of research gap identify, how you will identify the gap. Then objective of your study. Okay, now major research question. Obviously the proposed one, definitely. Okay, and if you have any kind of hypothesis there, you can keep or can skip this one because you don't know that what type of hypothesis you're going to say. If you have something in your mind, you can put, but please write proposed. Okay, then the proposed methodology that you have decided already with your fellow members, and then you can put sample size. Okay, I already mentioned it. It depends on the type of project you have undertaken. If it is a large scale project, generally 2,000 to 3,000. For our project, we have taken 2,000 respondent, and we have collected in the from the 4 states, 500 from each state that we have done. Okay, for this study, generally it range between 2,000 to 3,000. Okay, then innovation. Okay, why your research is considered to be a unique one? That you have to write. Uniqueness of your or innovativeness of your project. Why it is sound to me a very thought-provoking, interesting. Okay, unique. What is your USP of your project? Okay, so that is very important that you have to write within 150 to 200 words. Okay, and expected outcome. Okay, that what is your expected outcome? And that you can write in a few words. Okay, mentioning the timeline, the policy papers, books. You can categorize the expected output in the following way: book-based, policy paper-based, document-based, data set-based. Something you can write. I've given a general instruction to all of us. Now, details of the dataset can to be generated. That we can skip because we don't have the data of dataset, but we can possibly give a structure where from which state we can collect which one, how many male and how many people. That is a tentative structure that we can give. Okay, what is the policy implication? Because ICSR want those projects which must have a strategic implementation in the policy level, maybe in the state level, maybe in the central level. So they want what is the implication for how it helps us the policymaker to undertake decision. And then you have to give the details of your collaboration, the name of each person, project coordinator name, the project director's name, their affiliating institution, their mail ID, their WhatsApp number, and everything, and all the documents from time to time as it is available in the ICSR data sheet. And what is your total amount of grant that you expected? Here, you have to classify the expenditure under different heads and the subheads. So I have already mentioned you the subheads, where if you can make a plan according to the subhead, it will be great help for you so that you can make it more methodical for the purpose of getting a grant from them. Okay, so that is a very important part. Up to that, I hope it is clear to all of you. Can we move forward?
Yes, sir. It was a very informative session. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm Dr. Savita, sir. I wanted to ask, like, regarding, like you mentioned, like for social sciences project, can you also mention regarding like health research projects and the funding agencies, etc.?
Particularly the science.
Like after you complete.
Okay, and I can complete, and I will also. I can see. I have focused mainly on the from the social science point of view. Are you are in the social science, or you are in the from the life science or some other category?
Uh, from public health, sir.
Public health. I
And
think
community medicine, medicine epidemiology.
Savita ma'am, your area also come under the different special projects under ICSSR. Ma'am, you can please keep the track on the Impress and ICSSR project. There is one particular, I think very recently there is a one project is there in, in collaboration with the Japan. I think I have shown you where there is a one particular issue. This follow the Impress where we will have a particular topic on health issue as well. Okay.
Oh,
So you have you can please keep a track on ICSR, particularly in a special call for special projects. There you will get a
oh,
different topics on public health and something because that is a very emerging area and that have a direct connection with the policy making. So definitely, I hope if not in this year or end of the year, definitely you will get not in this month, but end of the year, this you will get a very good project from the ICSSR if you can ready to apply for it. Okay, I am showing you
okay,
all
sir.
the details, no problem.
Okay.
Now, here
Uh,
arise an important thing. Now, say for
Sir,
example, say
Sir,
yes,
and
ma'am, please.
one more doubt, like you had mentioned, sir, if a person is doing private practice and not affiliated with some institution, so in that case, you said that a single
Yes,
person
yes, yes.
also
No,
can
no,
apply.
yes,
So is
correct, correct.
affiliation with university required, or if he is
No,
like
no, no.
registered
Yeah,
doctor, he can, yeah.
yeah. I understand. Yes, ma'am. It is a very good question. No one asked me this type of question. Thank you once again for asking this type of an offbeat question. Generally, not necessarily part of only the faculty member and academician. You can collaborate with an industry expert. You can collaborate with a person who have a private practice. Okay, but the person must be an authentic one and actually doing the practice. Okay, there is
Okay.
no, you can undertake. That is a very collaborative. But generally, my suggestion is that please collaborate with those person having similar mindset. Otherwise,
Okay.
what happen? You know that when ICSR is calling for a special meeting, and you are taking the entire load because you are the project coordinator. You are asking your friends to come and join with the meeting. They say, no, I'm busy. I'm in practice right now. I cannot join. So automatically, or I am in a separate class, I am not able to attend the meeting. So at that time, it's not being allowed. If in an ICSR project, if you are the project coordinator or maybe anyone is project coordinator, all the project directors are must they support their project coordinator. It is a team effort. It cannot be individual. If it is an individual effort, automatically I can better go for a minor project than major project. I think that you are taking off your own and you can spend money of your own. Okay, so that is very important thing. So that is
Oh,
the
okay.
that is a very interesting part of it. Okay.
And
Now,
one thing, do people take individual projects? Because I have also heard people collaborating for projects. Is it common for people to take up individual projects?
no, no, not necessarily. See, ma'am, you can take a minor project, a major project. Okay, undertake. You can undertake. No, no problem. I think if you're starting in, if it's the beginning journey of your, and if you, I don't know that about your research background. If you have a very good research background, okay, then automatically you can directly, immediately go for a major project. But if you are at a very initial stage and if you do not have too much research exposure, at that time you can go for minor project and then thereby you can go for some major project or longitudinal project. It's better. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now you can go for a minor project and major project. I already mentioned you, but I need to differentiate between minor project and major project for the purpose of a clear understanding for all of you. Okay, that will help you to undertake the project in a much more comprehensive manner and to understand the nitty-gritty of this particular project. Now, see, whenever you open this window and automatically you can find out this call for proposal, see this particular thing. I see this is an invite proposal from Indian researchers in social science and human science, particularly for major. And that is always going on. Okay, every time within a gap of few months, automatically this particular major and minor project is available. So, and not only that, the most interesting part is that the man is asking that on health science or public health, you can take a public health and sustainable development goal on SDG. Immediately your proposal got selected. So if you
Oh,
take
okay, sir.
so if you take on that area, automatically your paper got, because you have taken public health, that's very common. Nowadays the emerging area, as well as you are taking up one particular issue of SDG, sustainable development goal that was given by UNDP. So automatically your the high chance that your paper got the project got selected. And then this is the end of the last stage. Now immediately again they come up with a particular goal. So you can go for it, a minor or major project. So I request all of you, if you've not taken any project, later you can go for minor project and major project. Later on, you can, once you complete one project, you get the confidence, then go for any short-term empirical project with a huge amount of budget. Because budget maintenance and thorough checking by the audit, by the statutory auditor is also being done. Okay, so that is also a critical part. But if any of the data amount is missing, if the data is missing, automatically the audit report will focus on that and automatically immediately inform the matter. So it's high chance. So you can initially start with a minor project, major project, and then automatically go for a comprehensive project like short-term empirical project or longitudinal study. Now, minor project.
Sir, one more thing. Do you have like idea regarding ICMR? Do you know, sir, regarding ICMR projects?
Now, ICMR or DBT, DST, this is a very comprehensive. There is some other new areas are also open. I'm not actually, because it will take too much time consuming, but I'm having a very comprehensive, this because ICSR and its comprehensive domain, it's also very large because DST, DBT, and ICMR, they have also different fundings. And you are correct, in ICMR, they have a project fundings for public health and something like that. That you can also check. But more or less the similarity, but there is some change in the nomenclature. Okay. So more or less, if you can prepare yourself, one, automatically you can apply for this. Minor modification you have to make. Okay. Like for a minor project, you have a maximum duration from 6 months to 1 month, 1 year. Okay. And then the total amount of budget sanction is 12 lakh. But my suggestion is that don't apply for 10 lakh. Please apply for 6 lakh or 7 lakh. Prepare your project in that manner and then apply. So that if you directly apply for 10 lakh, they will evaluate, okay, this is a project and they are applying for 10 lakh. Why? So automatically you may please reduce your budget amount up to 5 lakh or 6 lakh, so that there is a high chance that your project got selected also. Because you take this project in such a way and try to match it with the estimated cost, so that you can prepare your budget in a rational way. For a major project, generally it is a 2 years duration, and the budget amount goes up to 25 lakh, depends on the project quality and the comprehensive coverage of the project. Okay. Now, for again the same thing, other than the earlier point that I have mentioned for amount that you have to spend for equipment or everything, here that remains same. Only the change is that the way you have appointing the project staff. Here the research assistant 47,000, research assistant 37,000, and field investigator 30,000. But for field investigator, you have to appoint only for a period of 3 months. That is, it is being specified. For a special category project, field investigator is being appointed. For minor project, major project. You cannot appoint a particular investigator for a more than 5 months or 6 months. You can appoint project assistant, research assistant, or research assistant for more than 4 months or 5 months. More you appoint, automatically more cost you have to bear. Okay, but field investigator, they have mentioned very specifically, you can appoint only for a period of 3 months. Now you have to appoint a selection committee for appointing those people. Now here it is being specified that there's a 4 members committee you have to form. One must be the project coordinator. Okay, that person who is in charge of the entire project. One outside person from any other institution who is not directly belonging to your project. Okay, and then a particular nominee, it may be the head of your the institution, or it may be the one person belonging to the category of vice chancellor, and the dean or head of the department of the project. Okay, and it must be approved by the competing officer that you have done through a comprehensive competitive mode, like the advertisement was published in your college website. It may be published in a daily newspaper, at least in a one in the regional language and one in the daily newspaper, in particular in English. So that is must. So automatically you have to go for it accordingly. But for the others, just like earlier stuff, particularly for the stuff you have to, as per earlier slide, field work 30%, affiliating institution charge 7.5%, subject to the maximum ceiling of 1 lakh. So in that way, the entire cost you have to bear. Okay. Now, what happened? I try to show you another thing. If I don't know whether it's showing or not. Let's see. Just give me 1 minute time. I can show you something. Yes, let's come. I hope you can see this one. Okay. Now see this one. This is a application for minor and major research project. Okay. The proposal amount is given up to 25 lakh, but for major 10 lakh. Okay. The title you have to, this is a form, actual format. Okay. This format you have to fill online, and then you have to submit it offline as well. The applicant address, your permanent address, your date of birth, that means the personal information, your mother's name, email ID, father's name. Okay. It is written, application submitted online will be accepted. After the acceptance, then you have to submit within 10 days from the acceptance of your mail. You have to submit it to the ICSSR. Your email ID, your designation, your affiliation, category, then uh, any award you have received earlier, like from ICSSR or from UGC or from any other authority, the project that you have undertaken and project that you have completed. Okay, education of the project directors. What are the qualifications of the project director? Okay, your experience, your publications, UGC CARE earlier, and if it has Coopers or ABDC or something like that, that you have to give. Okay, and then any other important your personal achievement that you have to put within 100 words. Okay, type of your affiliating institution, 2F, 12B, affiliating UGC, deemed university, central, state university, institute of national importance, all those you have to submit. Okay, if you have a project co-directors, okay, then automatically their name, their mail ID, proposal name, abstract, introduction, C, the point that we are objective, major research builder. I have already mentioned you, everything is written. How many words you have to give? You have to paste it in that box actually. In during online filling, you have to put it, keep it, and post it in this particular box. And then expected outcome for the new data generated. I already mentioned you all those points. Relevance of the study for the society, milestone of this. So, okay, what the and the project proposal. Okay, hi, see the point. Heads, research staff, research associate, field investigator, field work, equipment, contingency. I have already mentioned that particular point exclusively for you so that you can prepare your budget. Then your grand total, see, affiliating institution overhead 7.5%. Automatically it is being mentioned. Okay. Then your affiliation, then your CV and self-attested. If you have is CHT, then that is also being self-attested. Then you have to fulfill fill this form, forwarding letter from your institution. Once you've done that, then entire process comes to an end, and you are now going to submit this particular thing to the ICSSL. Okay, I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, now what happened? You will get the funding. Okay, how you have to get the funding? Okay, once you get or provide the undertaking in 100 rupees stamp paper, then once the particular project is being submitted, once you get the letter, after it is being approved, you will get an approval letter, and after that they will mention that how much they will pay in the first installment, how much they will pay in the second installment, and how much they will pay in the final installment. And rest is being cleared later on after a formally audited report has been submitted. So first installment, second installment, and final installment you will get. And after that, once the audited report has been submitted, then you will get the rest of the amount. Okay, so in that way, the amount is being dispersed 50%, 20%, 10%. So 50, 20, 70, and 10, 80% you will get. Rest 20% you will get once the final report is being submitted. Most interesting is that here, lies here. Okay. Now, on the completion of your study, what you have to submit? You have to submit a report. One is the abstract, one is the executive summary, as well as your entire study, along with the similarity index, the plagiarism check report. Okay, that you need to submit. Once after acceptance of the report by ICSSL and upon incorporating the suggested changes, suppose if they say no, you have to go for incorporating a few changes in the report, then automatically you have to modify the report and again resubmit the report both in the PDF form and Word document, along with the 2 hard copy you have to submit. Okay, and you have to submit 5 executive summary report in the hard copy form. Okay, and all the data set, please keep a note of it. All the soft copy of the data set in the Excel sheet form, the data that you have collected, all the documents, all the Excel soft copy, what the soft copy you have to submit, okay, to the ICSSL. Okay, for the purpose of documentation and data set verification purpose. So that they are going to take. Now, I hope it is clear to all of you. If you after that, if you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will discuss few other rest of the things, the technicalities of writing this particular portion of this project. I will take a few minutes time from you. So if you have any question, you can ask me. I hope this part is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will show you some important things that how to write a grant and proposal and step by step. So I think yesterday you have a class on that, a session on that. But as I will discuss something interesting that is applicable for you in the context of project, some technicalities. Okay. Now see, that is the project proposal format that was given by the ICSSL. Okay. And that is applicable for all type of project. Maybe you are taking a special call, maybe you are an empirical study, maybe you are taking a minor project or major project. I think that part is very common. A summary you have to submit one, and a detailed research proposal you have to submit within 3,000 words. Okay, a comprehensive summary and a total detailed research proposal. Now, out of that, see the point they have mentioned very clearly: title, introduction, conceptual framework, review of the literature, objectives or aims, hypothesis and research questions, scope and methodology, relevance and future outcome, tentative characterization, time frame, budget, and bibliography. So this is the thing they have mentioned. I have already mentioned you the abstract introduction part word wise, how many words you have to frame. That is a very common thing. But your project need to be a perfect in all context, because otherwise your project can, there's a high chance your project can be rejected. I'm not saying that your theme is very good. Maybe your theme is good, but the way of writing is not so good. So automatically we have to rework on that area. If you are a vivid researcher, if you have a lot of publication, I don't think that there arise some problem. But if you are new in this particular field, if you are starting your project, applying for a project for the first time, and also in the area of writing research papers for the first time, you may face some little bit difficulty. So I have a very important thing. Please take up a very uh, contemporary issue. Contemporary issue, immediately, if you can ask me, sir, can you tell me some of the contemporary issue? One thing that is very contemporary and is a very burning issue right now. One is a Viksit Bharat and one is IKS. That always strike in my mind. Okay. Um, so that is very important area where you can, and there's so many areas. Tribal issue you can cover. Okay. Problem related to so many areas are health and hygiene is another important area. So these areas are very important in issue. So you can women empowerment, okay, women led, particularly that is in the particular rural domain. You can work a lot of issues, particularly in that area. So, so that is very important. Don't take the idea from someone. They already they applied for a project, they got a project funding from there, or most of the paper which is being extensively researched. Don't take those, because people, I say, don't want this type of project from you. They want something which is very unique. Think about something about IKS, Viksit Bharat, or something like that. Some area that is not being covered or touched upon. Okay, so that is very important thing. So you have to select. Now, in order to select the topic, please ask the following question: that whether your project, the proposed problem is being identified by correctly. And do you think that your research problem you can solve later on? Otherwise, if it create doubt, you are having some problem. Whether your problem is very significant, because you have to justify the application in a social sense, the social impact of the project. And am I competent to carry forward the study? Some of the people have said that please do a research on IKs, but you don't have too much understanding about the history of India. You don't have too much knowledge about the subjects like the Sanskrit or something like that. So are we competent enough to carry forward the research on that area to that extent? So it totally depends on you. You have to ask yourself, and then automatically you have to decide. Don't take anything in the area. Suppose if someone asks you that please take an area with the application of AI or something, or in that area with the help of education or something. If you are competent, if you are knowledgeable, then you can undertake that. So that is a very important thing. So your title should be very clear and unambiguous. Your title must reflect the project that you're going to undertake and precise. If you ask yourself this question in a yes/no format, if you're correct, then only you can take it accordingly. Okay. Now, I have a suggestion to all of you. As defined by the ICSSR, you need to go for a comprehensive review. The comprehensive review, if you can remember from the last slide, I mentioned you that it should be categorized into two parts, national and international, and 15 to 20 minimum review you have to do. Generally, when we do the review, we can do the review in a two possible manner. One, we can go by the chronological order, and one we can go by the theme wise. Okay, initially what they prefer you can go by the chronological order. Chronological order means that you have to start with the current one and then go to the last one. So how many papers I will put in for a particular year, it depends on you. Suppose you have put two papers from here, and again in 2023, two papers from another year, one paper from a year. So you can, depends on you. If your project is in such a way, it is theme wise. At that time, what happened? You can categorize the review in the theme and then put it in the under the theme. You can put it in a chronological order. I hope that part is clear. So if you have theme based, then under the theme you have to put it in a chronological order. That part is clear. Okay. Now sometimes we have that automatically. I try to show you one such thing that will help you. Okay, sometimes people are asking me in a session that, sir, that you are talking about the theme, and under the theme, we have to go for a chronological order. How it is possible? How it is possible for me to understand the entire gamut of the themes in that area the research is being done? So for this, I can help you in this context by virtue of showing something very interesting for all of you. Let's have a look. All of you can use this particular platform, is open knowledge net. Okay. Now here what you can do is the AI-based platform that will assist you in identifying your direction. I'm not saying that it is the only tool that is available for you, but it is a very simple tool applicable for all social sciences that you can. There's two options. One is PubMed for life science and one is for base for social science. You can click on base and then you can write, suppose, a topic on corporate social response. Suppose you are undertaking a research on CSR and you are applying for a project, because CSR is a very important dimension in the area of our in Indian content. There's the only country in India that have a law, particularly a specific guideline in CSR, that is not applicable in other countries across the globe. The only country having guidelines, specific guideline on CSR. So now you will click on it. Once you click on it, the open knowledge map will give you theme. That means CSR based theme research is being done across the globe. I hope I am clearing to all of you that how many theme-wise work is being done across the globe on CSR. They will give you the entire picture within a second. See that point, it is coming. See, it is coming. Okay, each circle represents one theme. That means across the world, based on the data availability in this particular platform, the entire work, CSR-based work, is categorized into different theme ways: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 possible theme ways. Now you want to go for review of those theme wise paper. What you will do, you can click on a particular circle. Once you click on the circle becomes big. Now in the circle, once it becomes big, you can see some of the folders representing a green color unlock open sheet. What does it mean? If you can click on it, the data, all the information like journal name, the DOI number, and the paper name, everything is available along with the full paper. Okay. Sometimes what happens, that paper, the due to some reason, little poor availability of papers are unable to download, but you know you will get it. There's no problem. You will get those particular papers here from here. Okay, the papers are available here. I'm showing you. Sometimes it is not coming, but most of them it is coming. Yes, it is coming. See, the papers are coming. Okay, so the paper is coming and we can download the paper. Okay, now what happened? Sometimes suppose if it's not opening, what you will do? Now suppose this particular paper I have tried, but it is not opening. So what you can do here, you can take the DOI number of that particular paper. Suppose you can take this particular region. See, this is the DOI number. If you can think closely, this is the DOI number, only the number. Not, you don't take this http DOI.org. Just take this particular number, copy it, and then there is a one particular site called Zenodo, ZDNODO. Okay, please make a note of it. There is a one site called Zenodo. Open the site Zenodo and put this DOI number only. And then once you put this DOI number and click button, automatically you will get the paper. So you have a high chance that Open Knowledge Map will help you in identifying the theme, and also helps you to identify the possible area of the location of this particular paper. Okay, I hope it is clear to you, all of you. Now the most important thing is that gap identification. In the ICSR, they also want the gap properly. Now, we have a very little bit clear identification about the gap that we are identifying. So they want a proper identification of the gap. What type of gap you are focusing in this particular project? Evidence-based gap, knowledge gap, empirical gap, methodical gap, and theoretical gap. That needs to be clarified. Okay, if you just say a gap, there exists a gap. So many studies has been done in a national level, international level. No study is done in national level. It is very generic. UG students can say like that, but you cannot say like that. You have to identify that where lies the gap. Is it an evidence-based gap? Is it a knowledge gap? Is it an empirical gap? Is it a methodical gap or theoretical gap? So that needs to be clarified. That's very important. Now, can I develop a write-up project proposal by using ChatGPT? Please don't do that, because ChatGPT generally take the data from metadata and automatically there's a high chance that your project got rejected. Okay, so please don't use ChatGPT for development of any project or any article write-up, anything. I'm not making any comment on this article. It is a totally a different session altogether. But please don't prepare your project based on this ChatGPT, because it is, even though you feel it is very useful, but I don't think that it is too much useful for us. Because yesterday, I came across a particular study that was done by MIT, where it is saying that people who are using ChatGPT in each and every possible manner, they lost 50% of their creative thinking and capability to remembering what they have done. It is true now, because something is not coming from us. You are taking the length from someone else, and it is coming mainly from the metadata. And how the metadata is wrong, I'm not making any comment on that, because in the last year I have taken a session, and then where I have shown how from the metadata when we are taking, it is creating an ambiguity in while at the time of referencing. So please don't do that. Okay. So if you have written something and if there is a high chance that your paper, that there is other than the similarity index, if there is a high chance that AI plus content is also there, please check it with the free software like Minster AI, Sapling, GPT-0 and Zero GPT, so that you can overcome the problem of this AI based inclusion of some facts in your project proposal. Okay. So please use this simple platform for the purpose, and partially free, so that you can take the help of those, so that you can avoid the AI based content in your project. Now, generally, I'm not showing this one, because generally what type of referencing style is being applicable for ICSL. I'm telling you, they specifically mentioned that you have to go for APA style of formatting, the American Psychological Association 7th edition. Generally, you have to write the document in the Times New Roman, TNR, okay, with a font size of 12, with a gap of 1.5, the line gap between two lines, 1.5. Okay, so please remember the TNR 12, 1.5 gap, and the main part is that it is in an APA format, 7th edition. Last but not least, I will not take too much time. If you have any question, you can ask me. I will give you some small information about the citation. Okay. Generally, we are always take the help of some of the our word embedded citation technique are there, but there is sometimes it also creates some error, because we don't have a manual identification about that area. So a little bit idea about citation techniques. Knowledge is very important. Otherwise, what happened? Yesterday, I have a talk with one of the fellow students, who is now an assistant professor of a state-run college. So she told me that, sir, most of the times when we are using the chat GPT for getting some idea about the citation, they're giving the citation, but it will automatically reduce our own knowledge of how the citation is being implemented in that way. So automatically this part is also very important, that when you don't have too much knowledge about that, it will create some. I will give you a very simple idea. Like generally, this, can you tell me that what is the name of this kind of citation? That everyone, this common citation technique. First bracket start, surname of the author, comma, year of publication. Actually, that is called parenthetical citation. It is called parenthetical citation. There is another type of citation is there called narrative citation. Under narrative citation, the surname of the author will outside the bracket. Only the year will kept within the bracket. That is called narrative citation. Generally, when we are doing an ICSR project, review of literature will follow narrative citation. The rest of the paper document will follow parenthetical citation. Okay. Then when we are taking help of any paper which have a true author, at that time we can take both the author and in between, please write down and in a symbolic way, not AND, as per the APA format 7th edition is concerned. Now, if there is a one work by more than three authors, at that time you have to write 8L. But always keep in mind it and al. After al, there's a full stop and it al must be in italic. Generally, I have seen generally scholars forget to make the it al italic. They generally write it al because sometimes knowingly, unknowingly, they are doing that. So, okay. So that is very important. Sometimes you can ask me that, sir, after the year, can I put the page number in that way, P189? That is page number 189. Yes, you can do. But if you do this thing, but for all the rest of the citation, you have to put a page number. Otherwise, you cannot do that. Now, this part is very crucial, maybe a little bit, but maybe useful for all of you. Suppose you want to cite two authors in a one particular line, and in that time, you have to go for a narrative form of literature review. Narrative form of literature review. Under narrative form of literature review, suppose you have taken a one line from someone, and the similar line you got from two different authors of two different publications. Okay, say for example, one from Morris and one from Raphael. So you have to cite both. That is called narrative form of citation. Okay, it is narrative form of literature review, but you are following a citation technique in that way. But if that there is two or more work by the same author, suppose you are citing myself, my papers, both the year and two of papers I have written in the same area, but two different years. So at that time, the citation must looks like in that way. Surname and they both the year of publication. But suppose you have taken my paper and I have written three paper in a year. One in 2024A, one in the month of January, one in the month of July, one in the month of December. Then how you will cite my paper, three paper on the same theme that was published in the same year? I cannot because from the citation, I cannot, if you just write Dr. 2025, no one can understand that, which paper you are talking. So at that time, to make a clear difference between the month, you have to put A, B, C. A for publication 2024, month of January, B refers to July, and C refers to December. And all the details must be reflected in your reference. Last one, but not least, if you find a very good article, but the date is not being mentioned, please write ND, not dated. Okay. So that is all about from my end. Okay. Thank you all for listening to my small presentation on this obtaining the project and the project grant. Thanks to RFI and thanks to all of you for being with me. Uh, if you have any question, you are welcome. In case of computer science, also you can collaborate with a ICSSR project in a short-term empirical or special projects. Okay, while you can, I told you earlier, like AI-based, ML-based, okay, automatical test project, because they are now nowadays they are demanding study particularly on interdisciplinary or intradisciplinary or multidisciplinary. So at that time, you can collaborate with suppose our management teachers, faculty members with a computer science faculty member, then you can come up with a very good project. And any other issue? If you have any question, please ask me the question. Any questions on your end?
Uh,
Okay. Thank you all, and thank you for your kind presence and interacting with me in this particular platform.